Should you take hormone replacement therapy, HRT, for your menopause or not? Seems like a pretty simple question on the surface. But does that question bring up a sense of confusion, frustration, uncertainty, maybe even fear or dread? Have you thought about the struggles you've experienced in menopause and wondered if there's any hope that you'll ever feel like yourself again? I'm Steve Goldring, the hormone pharmacist. I'm here to talk about that specific question. Should you take hormone replacement therapy, HRT, for your menopause or not? Watch to the end of this video because I'm going to introduce you to a qualified menopause expert, somebody who has all the information and all the tools necessary to answer that question once and for all. Hot flashes humiliating you during a meeting at work, sometimes coming as often as every 10 minutes. Horrible night sweats constantly waking you up all through the night. Sleeping 2 or 3 hours every single night for months on end. Brain fog so bad you can barely remember your kids' names, much less where you put your car keys or even your car. 5, 10, 20 pounds or more that seems to come out of nowhere. Weight gain that you just can't lose, no matter how much you eat like a bird or how intensely you exercise. 5 days a week. Paralyzing anxiety, making it impossible to even walk out your front door to check the mail. Suicidal depression. It seems like there's absolutely no hope, no possibility you can ever get your life back the way it used to be. Vaginal dryness and painful intimacy, making things difficult for both you and your husband. A loss of energy, a loss of sex drive, a loss of any kind of joy in your life. Well, maybe you've tried natural menopause remedies, black cohosh or red clover, maybe vitamin E or other creams that you might find on Amazon or supplement capsules. Keto, Whole30, vegan diets, cutting out sugar, fat, coffee, maybe chocolate or wine. Does any of it make any difference at all? A little? So-called experts say to dress in layers, turn down the thermostat, avoid spicy foods. Well, I talked to a doctor once at a cocktail party. I told him I helped women with menopause and hormones, and he had 3 words of advice that he sort of chuckled and gave. Get a fan. Well, that represents how much women have been misled and frankly patronized over the last 20 years. Condescending, insensitive, completely oblivious to the realities of menopause for a lot of women. On the other hand, you may have heard a lot about hormone replacement therapy, or HRT. HRT isn't for every woman. Hormones can increase the risk for breast cancer, heart attacks, and strokes. Hormones should only be taken at the lowest effective dose for the shortest possible period of time. Well, some women have heard, never take hormones. Those will kill you. And that kind of statement often comes from a well-meaning but completely uninformed doctor. You've probably spent a lot of time doing your own research in medical journals, medical studies, books, blogs, online forums. Maybe you've scoured Google and YouTube. Have you come away from all that research with any more clarity than when you started? Or maybe you're more confused after reading all those websites and watching hours of videos. Well, one thing's pretty obvious. I'm a man. Why should you listen to what a man has to say about menopause? I get it. I've clearly never experienced any of the awful, life-changing symptoms of menopause, nor would I want to. I am not a menopause expert. But I am a hormone expert. I spent the past 25 years talking with both men and women about hormones as a compounding pharmacist. I've attended dozens of hormone conferences and earned multiple hormone certifications. I've taken a deep dive into the research about menopause and hormones. I've done all that just so I could help you answer that question we raised at the beginning. Should you take hormone replacement therapy, HRT, for your menopause or not? I've mentioned that I was going to introduce you to a qualified menopause expert, somebody who has all the information and all the tools necessary to answer that question once and for all. I also just now said that I'm not that menopause expert. That menopause expert is someone that understands all those symptoms that you've been experiencing. In fact, has experienced all of them personally. This expert is female, about the same age as you are, The menopause expert I'm talking about knows your specific menopause symptoms just as well as you do, because that menopause expert is you. But I'm not an expert, you might be saying. I'm not a doctor. I don't know anything about science or medicine or hormones or breast cancer or... Think about it. There's no one else who understands your menopause situation better than you do. You're the world's foremost expert on your menopause, the single most qualified person to make that HRT decision that we talked about. So this is where I come in. You'll need a doctor, a physician's assistant, or a nurse practitioner to help you with hormones, somebody licensed to prescribe them. But I can guide you toward a provider who cares, but also one who has the training and expertise and experience to help you. I can help you ask the right questions. As a hormone expert, I have all the information, the tools, and the confidence you need to make an informed decision about HRT. I've developed a digital course called the Menopause Solution that walks you through a framework with 3 pillars to help you obtain that information and implement those tools for yourself. Those 3 pillars are searches, stories, and studies. Have you ever done a Google search about menopause and HRT? If so, how'd that go for you? Did you feel any clearer or more confident after Googling? In my course, we'll look at several of the most commonly Googled questions around hormones and menopause. Unfortunately, Google search results are cluttered with misinformation, paid advertising, and a lot of people who just don't know what the heck they're talking about. Together, we can discover the real answers to your Google search questions. You can feel confident that you know the answers to all those questions that both you and so many other women have asked. I've talked with thousands of women in menopause. Their stories have been so heartbreaking that I've been reduced to tears multiple times. By sharing those women's stories with you, I can help you see that you're not alone. Many other women have gone before you and have answered that question for themselves. Their stories can help you gain some clarity about the risks of taking hormones, as well as the risks of not taking hormones. Spoiler alert, there are risks either way. I'm well versed in the studies, the research around hormones and menopause. In fact, I've boiled down the 5 most important studies that have an impact on HRT. I can help you understand what those studies say and don't say in clear language without a lot of medical jargon. You can feel confident that you have a grasp of the most important research about hormones and menopause. Well, I haven't had that many women go through this brand new course since I just started offering it directly to patients. But the last time I checked, something like 2,086 women in menopause have watched an earlier version of the course. I've totally updated it. I offered that version exclusively through doctors all over the US, Canada, and the UK. Doctors trust me to help their patients understand HRT and menopause. And I'd love for you to trust me as we journey together to make your HRT decision. Well, I've got a lot more information about the course available on my website. Just click the link that says Make Your HRT Decision. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the other side.